going on? Legitimately here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Data Gaming XP Grind episode 101. And we've also reached 100 subscribers, so we're really grateful for that, and I'm glad that people are enjoying our content. And we've got a long way to go to Road to Max. So, obviously in our last episode, if you missed it, we showed people where you can get Blurite ore. That particular node was actually depleted because we had already got some. We'll probably go back in another episode and sort of show people in case they did potentially miss that one. So we're looking for the blueprint right now so we can actually make blurite limbs, blurite crossbow, and blurite bolts. So we're going to be checking a bunch of different places to potentially see if we can't find it. But the real place you want to look, from what I understand from Discord, is this chest here. So it looks like it's actually not respawned yet. So I did go to sleep quite a bit, a bunch of times behind the scenes. So that way in hopes to sort of let it respond, but it doesn't look like it has actually responded. So obviously, from my understanding, that's going to be the best place. We actually checked this chest again, and we've had no luck. So really, it seems to me that that chest is the best chance to actually get it, but it doesn't mean it's the only place to get it. I'm not 100% sure. I've also been sort of heard around that it's random. I don't want to spend too much time looking for it because potentially it could honestly be anywhere, and I'm not 100% sure. But the reason I don't want to spend too much time sort of looking for it in the chests around here is because I'm not entirely sure. But there is one place we can look that I think would actually be worth our time if I can actually get there. There's so many different like lodestones I've got going on around here. So let's see. I believe it's in the caves here. There's a spot. It's not here. It's actually by this. So you can jump across right here before this vault. The only reason I don't really like to do this is because look at the jump. It's incredibly sketchy. And it could be in here though. So let's go ahead and take a look. So it is not here. And let's see. Also, if you're trying to get Quorum, you can get those out of Goblin packs. I'm not sure where else you can get them. And it's an incredibly low chance. So you'd have to go through quite a bit of them to actually get Quorum, which is perfectly fine. I like the fact that it's basically a little bit rarer. And obviously those perks from poisoning arrows is going to be doing more damage to bosses and things like that you're going to be fighting. So really not that bad that it's going to take some time to gather those. So, and as far as shrapnel, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I know that I've been smithing a little bit, and then you get some by chance. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and do some dirty water, and then potentially let these chests respawn, because the one that I think it's going to be in isn't currently ready to open up again. And it does take quite a while for them to actually respawn, which is really unfortunate. What's this up here? So I was just trying to sort of check and make sure we didn't accidentally miss it and accidentally had it. So let's see. Trying to think in my head what I want to do here. That's right, dirty water. So we've got to empty out our inventory a little bit. I had my bow with me because I was shooting down Renaissance. Obviously, can't lose track of what we're trying to do and what we do need to get done in the game. So just trying to get on track here. I need cabbage because we've got to make more cooking potions. So we're also probably going to be checking on the blurite ore in this episode because I believe it should have respawned. I can't find my cabbage. Do not know where it's at. But we do need to make more cooking potions. So let's see if we can't find it. Shouldn't be this difficult. I'm probably just accidentally overlooking it. There it is right there. So let's go ahead. We probably don't have the other required herb. So I'm just going to put some of the dirty water inside the fireplaces so that way my inventory is not so full. It's really bogging me down and I'm not able to walk that fast. So obviously our goal is road to max. And I think we're going to have plenty of time. Fell Hollow's got quite a ways away. And we should see some levels increase with Fell Hollow. So it's going to be really interesting to see how high we're able to go once they do come out with that. I think it's Morental. And let's go ahead and make some cooking potions really quick. Got to take out the poison ichor. And there we go. 5 cooking potions should be fine. I've got to sort of get things organized again. I'm completely out of sorts. And I think that this is mostly because we've been doing so much in a game. And we sort of just... everything starts to blend together. when you're constantly playing and putting in time behind the scenes and inside these episodes. So let's see. We're going to have to grab more dirty water. Let's see. Looks like we've went through quite a bit of it. We still got lots to go though. So not really a problem. Let's go ahead. This really isn't that much XP in cooking. And I find that it's easy to get the dirty water, but you really, like I said, don't get a lot of XP. Ultimately, I think that it's just tricky because killing sheep and ram, I've been doing it for so long, and then a lot of the armor that I built in my giant mannequin army, that took a lot of resources as well. So the reflection of what I've actually got in my warehouse is not an accurate, I guess, description of how much we've actually done in the game. Because I built so much, because I've done so much, what appears to be one way in what we have in our warehouse is actually an inaccurate. I mean, we've actually done so much and we would have so many more resources banked, but we constantly do things and play in the game. So to really get a good idea would basically mean I'd never done anything. So it's interesting, but obviously those are still their own accomplishment in its own right, to see all the things I've done. And obviously we can't really go to the fractured plains where I've got the Titanic or my pyramid or my roller coaster because the game lags so badly. So we really can't hang out in that area without just completely lagging for such a long period of time. But I have made a decision that I'm going to be deleting a couple things in the game. I just have to really decide what those are going to be, because obviously I have a sort of connection to a lot of those things. So it's really hard to just get rid of all those things. So it's something I've really got to look at and decide what I want to get rid of and what I want to keep. But so we've got lots of more dirty water. We're going to let these finish. It doesn't take that long. And I think we're actually going to go to the fractured plains where I built a lot of stuff. And then I think we're going to delete a little bit really quick. It's not going to take that long. I'm obviously not going to be getting rid of my Warhammer base. This is really cool. I won't be getting rid of that. That's the problem. There's so many things that I could potentially get rid of. And that makes it tricky. I'm probably going to get rid of this staircase. That's not going to free up a lot, but I think every little bit's going to help. After we're done destroying a little bit, then we're going to be going to where you can get blurite ore in a game. Hopefully it's respawned. I'm not sure how long that takes to respawn. So all these different things that we're going to try to do and get sorted out. So lots of work that needs to be done. But obviously it's exciting because I'd like to be able to come to the fractured plains without having load-in issues. So once I delete a lot of these different things, then we can sort of look at it from the bigger picture of what can I get rid of after that. This is going to be giving me a lot of ash logs, and so we're going to be banking those at our warehouse. So another thing that I sort of wanted to point out was it's interesting because we already see blurite ore only has one location. And it really gets me thinking, when mithril comes to the game, or potentially steel, how easy is it going to be to get these resources? I think it's going to be really hard. I don't think that's going to be easy at all. So the higher it goes up, the less there's going to be that we actually are going to be able to grab. So, I mean, like, I even sort of talked about that before, in regards to how fast you can level things up, and whether or not you should be leveling up things at a crazy rate right now or versus waiting, why you might want to just do it now. And my big thing behind that was basically that just because you're going to get more XP from new creatures you're going to be killing or new monsters, things like that, there's obviously going to be new mechanics that come along with that, and new challenges that are going to be presenting themselves. So just because they're high level and you're going to get more XP, whether it's smithing, whatever it might be, those resources are going to be harder to get, whether it's the creatures that are protecting them, new vaults that are going to have really cool stuff inside of them. All those things are going to present their own challenge. And I think that just goes to show itself with blurite. There's not a lot in the game, and they may add it in new areas of the game, but I think they're going to keep certain things sort of relevant with where you're at in the game. I don't think they're just going to start adding things that wouldn't make a lot of sense. So really what that means is, yes, you're going to be able to get more XP with newer things that come to the game, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be faster XP. You're going to have to work a lot harder to get a lot of these things. So it looks like our inventory is already full of wood, but we're not really worried about gathering all these resources. Eventually, at some point, I'd like to come back and get them, as I don't really like to have just endless amounts of resources sitting around. So this should help a little bit with loading in. Now, we're going to be teleporting and going down, but I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want to spend too much time deleting things. I just sort of wanted to try to make it so when I load into this area, it's a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and go where Blurite ore is. So we've actually changed our lodestone. It used to be over there, and we used to have to wait an incredibly long time to load in. But that's really weird. Now there's no lag on loading in. Is it because I got rid of the waterfall thing? I'm not sure, but I'm very grateful for that it's not doing that anymore. It could be the waterfall, but I think that just goes to show you that basically that little bit potentially could have helped a lot. So you don't need to go that way once you're inside this vault. Interesting, he respawned again. So I think that might be a glitch that they actually fixed in the game, because these guys were really not responding for me, and now they are. So now I'm able to get more vault shards a lot quicker. So I'm not sure why that is, but these guys really aren't that hard to kill. You just got to be careful, and if they're in a bigger group, then obviously it's going to be a lot more difficult. But you're going to want to jump up here, and then you're going to want to try to make sure you can time yourself with this jump, because it's not necessarily hard, it's just timing. So there's the Blurite, and it has respawned. So let's go ahead and grab it. I think our inventory is still full, so we're going to have to use our personal storage chest, so that way we can put a little bit of wood in there. But ultimately, there we go. And we're just going to mine the rest regular. This isn't really something I'm going to stack up a ton on, and the reason for that is really because obviously it's tricky. Once Felhallow comes to the game, there's probably going to be new bolts you can make, and so these are going to be good for now. Also, I really mainly kill sheep and ram. I think that having this new ore to get would be good for potentially fighting bosses and things, and I fell, which I usually do right there. But obviously that ore is going to be good when you're fighting bosses and things like that. But for the moment, I really don't think I need something too incredibly powerful to kill the things that I do. But obviously extra damage is good, and it will just be exciting. But like I said, it takes such a long time for that to load in, so it's good, but at the same time, obviously, it takes forever to load. So you've got to keep that in mind. With it, I guess, within basically how useful it will be, since it's very rarely going to be there. And it wouldn't let me put my shield on. I've been having a little bit of a hard time with my keyboard. So what's this? Azure metal contraption. So a blue metal. So I do believe that this is the pattern right here. There we go. Blurite crossbow limbs and bolts. So we've gotten it. So in fact, this is where you're going to be getting the blueprint, which I found on Discord a little bit ago, and then I was able to use that to help me. So now we can go to our base, and then we're going to, let's see. So hopefully you guys are able to see on the map where you're going to get that, because obviously that's going to be really important. And let's see. I want to sort of put all this stuff away, so that way we can work on all this. I had to build a furnace right here. We're going to put our Blurite ore in there. And then we are going to do this. I've just got to put all this stuff away really quick. We also got to pick up all the dirty water. Oh, I picked up a little bit by accident without taking a cooking potion. So let's go pick it all up. I thought there would have been a little bit more than that. Our inventory is full, that's why we didn't pick any more up. So I like this though. We actually got a little bit of mining XP. We got some cooking XP. And then no construction XP, because we weren't really building, we were more so destroying. So let's put all this away. And then once I've got that clean water, I can actually use... I won't use animal bones, because that's going to be really good for prayer. But I will probably be using animal teeth, so I can get more cooking experience. So we've got our Blurite bars. So let's go ahead and see what we can do now. We're at the fletching bench. There is the Blurite crossbow. So it's obviously better than the iron one. Now we're going to need all these ingredients. So we got to make limbs first, which I'm guessing you would have to make the limbs here. Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. So let's go ahead and do this. Blurite limbs. There we go. So we've got that. We're going to need a lot of different things here. So let's go ahead and gather it all up. We're going to need swamp thread. We're going to need blightwood. We're going to need jade and vault shard. So some vault shards. I think there's a little bit of jade over here already. I don't think we have enough blightwood. So we're actually going to have to go get some really quick. So we've got have to find our anti-poison potions. And let's see. I've got things really mixed up ever since this update came out. I've gotten really lazy. So let's see. Anti-poison. We're going to have to make more anti-poison potions. So let's go here, which I believe is not the right spot. I think it's here. So let's go ahead and take our anti-poison potion. And there's quite a bit I'm trying to do right now. So what I want to do is probably try to get a range level before this episode's over as well. I want to get some more blightwood logs. And then I think we've worked on cooking a little bit. So we're going to have gotten quite a bit of XP and quite a bit of different things. So there's the Abyssal Demon. It would be nice to fight him, but I really don't know where there's a good safe spot out here. And I'd hate to start dying and then waste a bunch of time. Obviously, it would be good for range XP, but at the same time, that's not really why we're out here to fight him. So we've got to try to keep focused. And it looks like he's already aggroed by us. I think we have enough logs. I think we're going to try to fight him a little bit. Our shield is out. No, it's not. Maybe we're going to try to fight him, I guess. We'll just use our whip. It will kill him a lot faster. It's fun to use range because we're about to level up, but ultimately if I want to have a successful kill, that's really the best way to do it. And I almost died there. I guess there was maybe potentially an explosion when he died. I'm not sure. But ultimately, we came out here to get blightwood logs, and we're running low anyway, so I think I'm going to grab a little bit more while I'm out here. That really just makes sense. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we go. That should be enough. I don't want to go too far from the teleport lodestone just because then it's going to take time to get back to it. And I think we've got quite a bit of logs already. We'll grab these as well. There's a couple more here that I've spotted. I may as well just grab them. That's why we're here. Alright, there's a rat. Hopefully he doesn't... Actually, you do get the ichor from fighting rats. So maybe that's another thing we're going to start doing in these daily episodes, sort of fighting putrid rats. Because it allows us to get the ichor, which is going to be important to start poisoning arrows for higher level opponents, obviously, that are going to be coming in Fell Hollow. So, not so much that it's going to help us right now, but it will be really useful once those things start to come. Looks like I lost the staircase when I got attacked here a while back. So, Jade. We need this. And I think I'm actually missing one other thing. So, I think we're going to go to sleep really quick here. So we can do all this in the daytime, so it's a little bit easier to see. Potentially this is creating a problem where people aren't really able to see my screen that well, so I don't really want people to have to deal with that. So let's go ahead and do this. So what do we need? We've already got it all. So just to give you an idea of what you're going to need once you actually get the blueprint. So we've got the blurite crossbow, and to make blurite bolts, what are we going to be needing? Feathers and blurite bars. So let's go ahead and make a bunch of those. Put all this stuff away. Feathers and blurite bars. We are really messing things up right now. We're getting things really disorganized. So let's go get some feathers so we can make blurite bolts. We've got quite a bit of feathers. So let's go do this. I'm not sure how many we're going to need. And see, already we're going to need more blurite bars. Because we're going to be making these bolts and then we'll be all out. So it looks like we can do 13. And I think that took all of our bars. So we are going to have to going back to get more. And we only got 195 bolts. So really, these are something you're going to want to use. Let's look at the damage here. 25 to 28. And then I sort of maybe messed up right there. Because you want to make them enchanted. So I think I just really blew up. No, that's right. You use those. And then you need runes and more jade. I didn't make a mistake. Thank goodness. That would have really sucked. So let's go ahead and pull out a bunch of jade, which I'm glad now jade actually has a real good reason to be needed. So we've got the jade. I think that was everything, right? That's right. So enchanted blurite bolts. So let's go ahead and make these 195 enchanted. Let's see how much more damage. So only 2 more damage because they're enchanted, but I think they've got other effects because they're enchanted that they might actually do. So we can actually equip this crossbow, put it here, and then we're going to take our iron crossbow and put it in here. So enchanted iron bolts. I really think stick with those. Put your enchanted blurite bolts away. Save them for Fell Hollow. Obviously, you can do whatever you like. It's your experience. It's your journey through RuneScape Dragonwilds. But ultimately, I think it's important to remember that we don't really need those right now. We don't need that extra damage. Unless you haven't killed Velgar, I would say potentially wait. Just hold off. If you want to shoot a couple off, that's cool. But I think it's going to be important to save those for when you really need them. Because obviously, it is going to be sort of scarce to get more of those. But obviously there's going to be new resources that come to the game that are going to basically be for the next stage up in bolts. But you've got to remember that there's going to be new creatures and monsters you're going to be fighting along the way. So that's where blurite, I think, is really going to come in handy. Because you're going to need to do more damage. And so if you save them now, it'll allow you to access newer things in Fell Hollow with a little bit more ease. It'll be easier to kill all the creatures you're going to encounter. So I think that's the right approach. Just like I saved my bird's nest, just like I saved my Garu packs, just like I saved my goblin packs. And the reason is because I believe bird's nests are going to be coming from those packs. So if you don't save them, you're going to have to go back and kill an insane amount of all these different creatures to get more packs. Obviously, new creatures are going to come into the game that are probably going to have better seeds in them. But the beginner seeds are going to be, I think, where it's really important. Because that's how you're going to be leveling up farming. So I save my stuff. Obviously, some people might look at that as a negative thing. The only benefit right now is that Quorum comes out of the Goblin packs. But once farming's here, I will open up all my Goblin packs. I will open up all my Garu packs. And I won't really save those things anymore. Potentially, we might even be getting ashes or something from Goblin packs when prayer comes. But then that'll be another problem later that I don't have anymore because I sort of opened them all up. So we're going to let all those sort of cook really quick, and then we're going to go over here and show you what we've basically got stockpiled in case you don't really watch. So we've got quite a bit of bird's nests. We really don't cut down trees anymore. We've got quite a bit of Garu packs, and we've got a lot of Goblin packs. So there's lots of Quorum in there, but ultimately, we're waiting. I'm not worried about the Quorum. I'm not worried about poisonous arrows right now. Obviously, it does more damage, but what am I fighting right now that really needs to be killed like that? I don't really kill Velgar over and over. I pretty much got what I needed from him. So, that's just my thought. That's my take. Save your better things for when updates come to the game. And obviously, I play the game a lot more. So, if you don't really play that much, and it's not that big of a deal, but regardless, you're going to have to go back and get all those things if you want more Quorum. And for course, animal fur, I mean, I was only really needing so much because I built so much and I wanted to have lanterns all over the place. But anyway, it's just the way I like to play. I hope you guys do whatever makes the game more enjoyable for you. And I'm just trying to sort of offer my feedback on it, or my sort of what I think. So anyway. Let's go ahead and put all this stuff away, and let's see. So I pretty much think I covered mostly everything that came with the update. I think the crossbow looks really cool. I didn't even really take a minute to look at that, but looks very cool, very nice. Maybe we'll go kill a couple sheep and ram. We got to level up our range before we end this episode as well. So let's go do that. Did I bring bolts? I did. My enchanted iron bolts. So I've been killing things all over the place when my inventory's full and just leaving everything everywhere. I don't really need to pick it up right now. And so it doesn't really matter to me. There we go, we leveled up. So now we're level 44 range. But we don't really care anymore. We've got so many resources, we can pick these up later. Our inventory gets full, but we still want to get range XP. So we've just sort of decided We'll pick it up later. We're not going to worry about it anymore. Here's a wolf over here. Also, if you might have noticed, you're going to find more dire wolves out here in these areas. And I used to kill tons of sheep and ram all the time, and I never encountered a dire wolf. And then now I'm sort of encountering them quite frequently. And I think that changed with this update. They sort of put more. So I'm not sure why that is. Potentially, we're going to be needing more dire wolf hides when Fell Hollow comes to the game. I'm not sure, but we're just going to have to wait and see why that sort of happened. But let's go ahead and kill it a little bit more. I know we already leveled up, and that was basically the point. I was just sort of trying to try out this crossbow. We've got quite a bit of sheep and ram up here, so let's go ahead and start killing them. 3 ram coming at us at once. What would we do? The same thing we always basically do, just take them out. Also now, when I'm waiting for days to pass for Blurite to sort of come, I will sit at my base on my top of my crafting area, and I'll just start shooting different creatures that are laying down there and leave all the resources on the ground. We got another sheep we can kill here. So there's a chest over here. We're going to go ahead and see what's in it. I've also noticed that there's new patterns you can get, or blueprints, for different things. I'm not sure if it's related to farming or if it's for construction to put things in your house, but some of them say potted plants. So that makes me think farming, but obviously it could just be for things to put inside your house. No real idea. I haven't really looked into it too much. So, as I don't really decorate all that much. For me, it's more mass resource, sort of get weapons and do cool things. So let's kill this wolf, and then we're basically going to go back to our base, do an XP update, and then call it a day. I think we got quite a bit done. We pretty much went over where everything is, basically, that came in the update. And so hopefully those things help you guys to find things you might have been having a hard time finding. So let's go back. So many resources now, and we're so all over the place. It makes it really hard to keep everything organized in our base. I'm not necessarily happy about it because obviously that's just pure dysfunction. And that's no fun. So now all of our chests are full because we're so disorganized as well. So let's take a cooking potion, pick up all this food, and then we're going to do an XP update and basically call it a day. But I think we got quite a bit done. So I'm actually really happy about that. And we were able to potentially help you guys who maybe didn't know what some things are that came with the update. So anyway, let's go ahead and do it really quick. So attack XP 315,000, ranged level 44, and 22,975 XP. Woodcutting 1,001,000, construction 2,013,000, rune crafting 851,000, magic 122,000, mining 4,179,000, artisan 4,117,000, and cooking 343,587 XP. So there we are. We got a little bit more XP right here. We got a grab. But yeah, so once they changed or nerfed the dirty water to clean water, I mean, we only really did that a little bit to get to level 50. And then we stopped because we were just trying to get our skills to 50. So we missed out on that all that crazy XP that would have helped us a lot getting cooking XP. And now we've sort of got to do it the long, hard, tough way. So anyway, that's pretty much it. And hopefully you guys are enjoying our content. Hopefully you're enjoying the new update in RuneScape Dragonwilds and your own adventure in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And until next time, Legion Uda out.